what you're hearing right now is a pretty catchy house party tune. It's called Kickin It, We Can Have a Good Time, by the group Def Klan. You aren't going to find these folks in a newspaper or on any Billboard charts, and as far as I know, this is their only fully produced song. From what we can find, only 1 minute of their party jam has been fully digitized and played on a small radio station for the website WEFUNK. Nothing else about this group is known or cataloged, so let's fix that. The Def Klan was started by Morgan Mr. Mo Smith and Edwin Slinky D. Davis in 1989. Morgan would adopt the pseudonym Emoja as a nod to his interests in African and Afro-American culture. Moja means the one or union in Swahili, furthering Mo's message of African solidarity. Slinky D already had an album under his belt. King Creole released in 1988 to little fanfare, but has since become an underground classic, and remains a pioneering Canadian rap album. It even gets a shout out on the Canadian Encyclopedia as recommended listening for Canadian rap. By Mo's own admission, Slinky took the then teenager under his wing and helped him through an artist development program, culminating in the beats for Kickin It. But it was missing something. They needed a female vocalist. Thankfully, the producers of the song knew an up-and-coming singer who could help, Lisa Lougheed. Yes, for all the Albertans out there, it's pronounced Lougheed, not Lawheed. I know. I'm just as confused. Lisa is an Etobicoke native who was studying dance at the city's School of Performance Arts. At 17, she auditioned for a dance job at a Toronto theme park called Canada's Wonderland. She didn't get the gig, but happened to also sing in the audition and was hired as a vocalist. From there, she hit the ground running and did odd singing jobs until she was spotted by cartoonist and songwriter Kevin Gillis. This is the same guy who created the RACOONS, which is a show... Man, how do I describe the RACOONS? It's ostensibly a kid show, but it has woodland creatures going through a lot of very complex adult issues, and thanks to Lisa, had a certified new wave classic as an outro song. Well, at least from Season 2 onwards. What a lot of casual fans don't know is that Lisa's version is actually a cover of Season 1's outro, performed by Steve Lunt. The song was produced by CBC Enterprises, the CanCon music division of Canada's Broadcasting Corporation. As their first foray into pop music, Run With Us was heavily promoted all over the place, starting in October of 1987, and saw its peak in April of 1988 when it hit number 69 on the RPM Top 100. While it didn't reach the coveted number 1, it gave Lisa enough of a push to get an album deal. She released Evergreen Nights in 1988 and was nominated for a Juno in 1989. The Junos are Canada's music industry awards. Think the Grammys, but with more of that Toronto twang. With the beat laid down and Lisa on vocals, Kickin It came together by early 1990, and was picked up by Somersault Records. The song was stuffed on a compilation album, probably similar if not the same as the version we have. Mo says a music video was recorded but never released, and they got onto a tour to promote the single. Lisa was unable to travel with them, so they swapped her out with Athena Wong, one of Old Dirty Bastard's baby mamas. Rip to the legend. They also lucked out with a dancer named Big Les, who eventually got huge thanks to Michael Jackson. Anyone who watches BET should know Big Les, that's Leslie Seeger. With all this talent and these future big names, you'd think Kickin It would take off, but the Canadian hip-hop market just wasn't at the same point as the Def Klan. Kid 'n Play's House Party would be released in March of 1990, and Def Klan's music definitely had the same vibe as that film. That movie and its soundtrack would go on to be a huge success, which leads us to assume that Mo was ahead of the curve when it came to popularizing R&B house party jams to a Canadian audience. So what are they all doing now? Lisa would release 2 more albums and quit the music industry in 1993. Run With Us wasn't her only contribution to the RACOONS. Throughout seasons 4 and 5, she voiced the appropriately named Lisa Racoon, who was the niece to Ralph, the raccoon who perpetually wore a scarf. There's not much known about Slinky D or what he's been up to. Morgan told me they had a falling out after Kickin It was released, but they have since reconciled. Morgan Mr. Mo Smith would go on to bigger and brighter things. He joined a short-lived group called Cold December and would start a comedy career. He's toured with Dave Chappelle, Tommy Davidson, and a whole other host of who's who's of up-and-coming comics that eventually got massive popularity. He got his break on the TV show Buzz with Darren Jones, and we have a whole episode on that, so go watch that instead. In fact, go watch our interview with him. He's a fascinating guy, and it's totally worth the watch. I'll link his channel in the description below. And likewise, we'll post the 3 versions of Kicking It on our second channel with a link in the description. In the meantime, thanks for watching.